Yet another day with number of stories coming in about Chelsea Football Club, and yes, I am here yet again to take you through some of those. Caicedo, yet another update, but not the update that we want. It's 3 uncoordinated stories getting to come through, so much so that you wonder what exactly is behind that. I'm going to be discussing that with you today. Levi Colwill, that's the big news. Remember how I shouted about no noise or the silence around Levi Colwill and why that was exactly why we were going through all the trouble with Moises Caicedo? Well, he's finally made the right noise and we'll be talking about that. And hey, Frank Khalid, shout out to you as a guy that I follow on Twitter and I get a whole lot of stuff coming through from him. But he came out with something down memory lane that night in Munich 2012. I'm going to be telling you about my story on that, and I hope I'll be hearing from you as well in the comment section on what exactly that was. My name is Desire Derek Ford-Mugumisa. Thank you so much for all the support that you are giving us on this particular channel. This is video number 4, and yes, we're starting a little bit inconsistent and all of that, but we are correcting that, and I do hope that you will be growing with us as we continue. Again, keep all that feedback from all these videos coming through in the comment section. I am looking forward to that. I want to grow with you. This is our community. Let's get to make this one work, shall we? Like, subscribe, share with all those Chelsea fans. Hey, put that bell on, because it's only through that you will be ready to receive that next video that we bring your way. How about we get into this one, shall we? Moises Caicedo, what a day. It's AFC Daily getting to come out with, well, a tweet that was exactly on my mind. Have you ever read that one thing and you feel like this is exactly what I'm thinking and it just does not make sense? So yes, again, as you can see, that it's about an unnamed bid. When I read that, the first thing that came to my mind was they are playing us. There is something they want us to do just now. They are pushing that extra thing. And I was actually also comparing it to when that reported Manchester City bid for Declan Rice came through, and then suddenly Arsenal were paying 100 plus 5M, jumping from wherever they were. I feel that this is something close to it. Again, I might be wrong, but this is my gut instinct. It feels like some Brighton people have come together and felt like, you know what, we can push these guys to give us the money that we want. So yes, as you can see that, it is an unnamed club. Then another guy comes through. It is an unnamed club within the Premier League. So now we are speculating and thinking, is that Arsenal? Is that Manchester United? Or it could be Liverpool. They just lost Fabinho and all of that. And yes, they paid more money than us. So, oh yeah, let's pay all the money that they want, Chelsea, and so we can get our man and no one gets to hijack him. And then before you can even settle with that, you get to hear that there is a Saudi club, also unnamed. When have you heard of a club that is not named from Saudi Arabia interested in a player when Al Ahly or Al Ettifaq or Al something have all gotten to come through? We've seen how much money that they're getting to put forward. The drama does continue. Of course, it all comes also on the foot of the update that we had received around Chelsea also looking to have the negotiations, in as much as they're independent, putting them together. I think that was Fabrizio Romano who got to share this particular tweet and stating that they were going to have maybe about 110 or 100 million, something like that, but have both players fixed in that price. Remember, of course, Robert Sanchez is a man that is not wanted at Brighton, having fallen out with De Zerbi as a manager. So what they really need is a place for him to go. They need someone to offload Robert Sanchez from them. Is he a better player than Kepa? Is he an upgrade? I'm not so sure about that. But one thing I know for sure is that we do not have a backup as good as Robert Sanchez with Premier League history at the level that he has gotten to play, especially recently. So yes, I would take Robert Sanchez in and get to push Kepa. Though, of course, it's not the case that I would have expected that we would have, you know, that one goalkeeper that is an elite goalkeeper at the club and all of that. So with all the drama going on, we still are asking, when do we announce Caicedo, or when do we even get to sign Caicedo? Many of us are getting frustrated about this deal and maybe even forgetting that it could be getting to happen. But here is also another development that has come through, because now the United States men's national team, you will have seen USMNT. If at all you didn't know what that was, yeah, this is United States men's national team. Player that is Tyler Adams at Leeds United is now being spoken of as an alternative for Chelsea Football Club, who are looking for that midfielder. Now, I don't know what you think, but I don't really feel like this is the kind of level of player we should be going for as Chelsea Football Club, especially if you have decided that Moises Caicedo is your plan A. You don't come from plan A Moises Caicedo to Tyler Adams, with all due respect. And this all due respect is that he's a good player, he's a decent player, he would add a lot to many teams. But guys, what is he going to add to us that we do not have already in, and I know some of you are not big fans of his, but Conor Gallagher, that we do not have in Andre Santos, that we do not have in Cesare Casadei, that we do not have, hey, Lewis Hall. And just recently, we also got the young man Leslie Ichoguchu. Yeah, still struggling with that name. But yes, how about that? I mean, we already have these players in place. A couple of them are still going to go out on loan, of course. But to spend £20 million on Tyler Adams is to spend £20 million to delay the development of the huge value that we've already acquired in these young midfielders who, by the way, in this pre-season have all shown they bring something to the team. When we played against Wrexham, everyone was screaming about what Casadei was bringing to the team. Everyone that watched the under-20 Euros saw what Casadei brought to the Italian national team. We're not playing in the Champions League or in Europa or even the Conference League, thank God. How about you give these boys some time and they get to actually gel and grow into this particular team? Yeah, I think we will have better spent all the money we spent on all those young lads, getting them to play in the first team rather than bringing in Tyler Adams. And yes, I know Pochettino has called for experience, but if the experience you're bringing, yes, is Tyler Adams, and the 20 million is really a release clause because Leeds United were relegated, then thank you, but no. I could use my young players getting the experience at Chelsea Football Club and getting to play for us in the main team. But let's step away from all the sad news coming in from Chelsea this particular day. Who knew Moises Caicedo would have been sad news at this particular point? But hey, we're leaving that at that, aren't we? Let's move on to the happiness of this. It still involves Brighton, but in a good way, because hey, Brighton, someone is raising fingers at you, and it's not me this time. This is Levi Colwill. He signed a new deal with Chelsea Football Club. And yeah, I'm struggling to take in the captions coming in from Chelsea about what he said and how it was an easy decision the whole time and everything. Levi, this is not how we felt as Chelsea fans over the last few months, with you just holding back and watching us from the side as you made your decision. We love your decision. We are happy with your decision. But did it take us through something there? Did it? Again, like I told you, I put out a video a little bit earlier about this Levi Colwill and how I felt his silence was affecting the signing of Moises Caicedo. I hope now that he's made his decision, of course, we shall have Caicedo deal getting... Why aren't we moving away from Caicedo? I'm sorry. Levi Colwill signed today. One of the biggest things that I've gotten to watch today out of his interview following that signing is a couple of quotes for me that got to stand out, and that was the one where Mauricio Pochettino featured yet again. And this is where Levi Colwill refers to his words and talk with Mauricio Pochettino and how that helped him to make his decision to extend his stay at Chelsea Football Club. Of course, a dream club for him and all of that. Joined it as a young man, grew through it, signed his contract at the age of 9. Beautiful, beautiful story. But what stood out for me is what he says he talked to Mauricio Pochettino about, and that is him speaking to the gaffer, not just as a player, but especially as a person. It's amazing what that does for people. And many times we've watched the Simon Sinek's and all of those talking about workplace culture and all of those kinds of things. Those trainings you've been to about communication and talking to people, those that you lead, those that you work with, those that you live with and all of that. And there is no bigger example of how effective that is today than, of course, Levi Colwill coming out to state that, I've talked to the gaffer, him talking to me as a person, checking on me, making me feel important. Of course, I'm now paraphrasing, but, making him feel like he's part of the plans, part of the project. These things you don't just tell people, you show them. And kudos to Mauricio Pochettino. I've seen a couple of interesting photos of him in training with the players here and there. It is the chuckles. You feel like it's intentional, conversations with the players, listening to them, speaking to them. You've heard how passionate he's been at the, can I call them timeouts or the water breaks in the preseason games and all of those. He's talking to them and calling them. I had him call Mudrik, Misha, for example, calling them by first name and maybe the shortened nicknames and all of that. And sometimes it's so normal and everything. But many a time we've had leaders and coaches who prefer to be, I'm the boss here, so I'll call you by your surname. I don't care what your friends call you and all of that. So hey, that for me was something that stood out from that interview. That is of course Levi Colwill after he got to sign that particular deal. Another thing that stood out for me is how he's not exactly speaking about he assured me of playing time and all of that. No, what he's saying is he made me feel wanted. He made me be a part of this club. I'm going to fight for this badge and all of that. So he clearly understands that he has to fight for his position. It's not that he has been assured, at least that's not what the interview shows. He's been assured that he will be benching Badiashile and he will be the one that plays the football and all of that. And with all the competition that we expect we shall be having in that backline. And of course, how he's excited to work with just about everybody in the defense. He refers to, of course, Captain Reece James, I insist. Right there, but he also speaks about the other guy, generally all the three guys we talked about in the video yesterday. Reece James, who is my favorite for captain, Ben Chilwell, who is the outsider for me as far as that captaincy is concerned, then of course Thiago Silva, and he speaks about him pretty much what I was speaking about, what I believe Thiago Silva could help Reece James to be the best captain that he can be. This time, it is Levi Colwill saying, learning the tricks from him, learning from his experience, taking the advice from his career so I can be better and all of that. Thiago Silva, ever so important in this particular Chelsea side, in this Chelsea defense, but as the mentor, not the captain for me, that is Reece James. But hey, congratulations Chelsea fans, Levi Colwill is here for the long term. Now, can we please allow him grow? He's not the finished article. Can we cut out the bits whereby he's going to give away a penalty and sell him tomorrow? We don't want him. I know you Chelsea fans, you're not so far from that. Can we avoid it? Now, what better way to close out a Thursday video than with a throwback? And that is something that Frank Khalid has definitely done for us this particular day with that tweet. Sometimes the tweets that mean so much to us have the smallest captions. And what do we remember when we see this jersey? Wow. Remember that iconic picture that Mason Mount repeated when we won the Champions League just the other day, Kai Havertz's goal? Yeah, the original one. That's what I remember with that jersey. But also what I also remember is Didier Drogba. It's not even the header to equalize. I watched that. It is the one that I didn't watch live, him getting the ball, putting it at the spot. And then you were thinking, might it be this time? Might it be? And then he converts it. The crazy thing about that is by the time I actually watched that clip, we had already won the Champions League because it was quite the day. So I got a couple of friends. No, they actually invited us to a spot where we were supposed to hang out and catch the Champions League final at. And they were actually inviting me to laugh at me because with the manner in which we had made the Champions League final, no one expected that we would get to win it. So they wanted me to be there as Bayern Munich at their home get to beat us. And then moments to the game, we've all gathered, we've grabbed our drinks, our snacks and whatever. The lineup comes out and Bertrand is left wing. Everything was against us. That is the biggest part of adversity. And I think that is what has trained me to believe in Chelsea a little more, believe in Chelsea a whole lot more actually, because we have thrived under adversity, and Roberto Di Matteo and that Chelsea side showed us just that. I mean, how we came back against Napoli, we had no right whatsoever to come back into that particular tie, at least normally. And then that was continued with the red card to John Terry, but then recovering to beat Barcelona, and the manner in which we beat Barcelona. The guy who had failed to do stuff for us is the one that gets to get that goal for us. That just reminds me of so much. And then we get to the final and they are leading. It's late on. Didier Drogba, he rises and he converts. I'd already been on so much pressure until that moment. He takes us into extra time, and I can assure you I'd had enough, because before that I'd not had that kind of pressure in a Champions League game. I stand up, one of my friends, she's leaving, I offer to drop her And as I drop out the apartment, I hear noise, because about then the penalty kicks are done with and Chelsea have won. But with the noise in that moment, I'm not so sure. Are they happy for us or are they laughing at us? I pull up my phone, live score it is. I scroll through. Chelsea are the winners on penalties. No one on that block appeared to know there was a Champions League final ongoing. I mean, those were the days, at least the part of Africa where I come from. Chelsea was not that popular, I've got to say, and the fans have since grown over the years and all of that. But because it wasn't Manchester United or Arsenal playing, I believe that is exactly why there was not so many people paying attention to that final. So no one was screaming on the block. I screamed through the stairs down. They must have thought, what's happening? Is that a thug or something? But this person sounds happy. Straight to the car. I went screaming back to the place we were hanging out, found these guys, and now it was me trolling, and I was the Champions League winner, and what a night that was. I was there in time for the trophy handover, and of course the iconic Didier Drogba moment and all of that. Yes, it reminds me of so much the Champions League final, and that is why I'm asking everyone that is watching this video today to please head to the comment section and please let us know where you are when you watch the Champions League final and what that experience was like. 2012, having tried so many times, slipped in Moscow. I remember that, John Terry. Glad you get to win it then in 2012 and all of that. What memories, what great times to be Chelsea fans. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't go any further than that. Thank you so much for joining us yet again today. Again, like, subscribe, share with every Chelsea fan that you might want to have a look at this and get to feed up on all these kinds of stuff. And feel free to share the feedback with me. Where can we improve? What other topic can we talk about? And all of that. I am open for it all. And here is where we shall have it all going through.